Hey, it's Steph. Thanks for watching today's video. I have an inventory check-in for my makeup collection. I did film one of these in the beginning of this year, and now is the mid-year check-in in July, so my numbers are as of July 1st. I have emptied some things since then, but I can't count it, so that's a bummer, but I'll just have another empty later. I love inventory videos. I love having a little sneak peek into people's collections because when you're watching videos like of them doing either panning projects or doing get ready with me's, you just see a very small glimpse of what they have. And in these videos, if there are pictures involved, which mine always have pictures, you can kind of get a glimpse of everything at the same time. Speaking of pictures, my pictures from January 2025 are a little, they just need some explaining in some categories because I put some X's on some products, which means I don't have them anymore. But I did explain this at the time, but I need to explain it again because it's been like 6 months, so I'm sure nobody remembers. But after filming my initial inventory video for my YouTube channel, I had someone reach out to me because in the video I had mentioned wanting to declutter quite a few blushes and some bronzers, and a highlight, I think. And someone reached out to me and they actually wanted the things that I wanted to declutter. So I had to include them in my inventory even though I didn't have them anymore because I hadn't taken my photos for my inventory yet at that time. So I used photos from a previous inventory that included the items that I had decluttered because they technically did count in my January inventory because they were in my video. But I had to X out a couple products in those photos that I actually didn't have anymore. I hope this all makes sense. I did try to screenshot like a picture from my video, but some of them were like my hand was in the way or it was like not good lighting, so it's just unfortunate. I almost thought about not including my pictures from January, but I think it's fun to see comparison as I'm talking about like the numbers and things like that, so hopefully it's not confusing. It's really just in, I think it's just in my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters, so I can talk about them as I get to them if I remember. If you are new to my channel, I do mainly panning content, which means I'm actively working through my collection that I already own. I'm really trying not to buy anything because I'm on my second Nova year in a row. I have received some declutters and gifts since my last update in my inventory. So unfortunately, some numbers have gone up, but some numbers have gone down as well, and I'm pretty happy with my collection overall. And I can kind of talk about what items have come in and like how, if they were decluttered or gifted to me. So let's just get into it. I hope you subscribe before you leave, and of course give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy inventory videos. I will be looking at my phone because I have a spreadsheet on Google Sheets to keep track of my inventory. I actually have inventory all the way back to 2021 or 2022. I started my channel in 21, but I'm not sure if I did my inventory right away. Anyway, let's start. I'm gonna go from like kind of the order how I apply things. When it comes to like eyes and lips, I don't know how those are in here, but the first step is primer. In my January inventory, I had 2 primers, and I have since emptied those both, and I have 0 primers in my collection, which is very cool to say. I narrowed that category all the way down. I don't really need a primer. I feel like when I wear primers, they don't really make a big difference to me, but I'm not someone who goes into the office. I'm just at home. I work from home. I have a toddler, and I do my makeup at 2 o'clock in the afternoon most days. I mean, if I'm going somewhere in the morning, of course I'll do my makeup, but I don't really need the longevity of maybe a primer at this stage of my life. I basically do my makeup very soon after I hydrate my face and do my SPF. So SPF is kind of like my primer now. So I don't think that I will be adding any primers to my collection. Of course, if someone recommends one to me that they think is amazing, I might try it out just because. I do really enjoy like the mattifying or pore filling primers kind of around here. I don't have that big pores, so I feel like they don't really do anything. But the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin that I just finished was nice. I don't know if I could tell a big difference, but it was nice. I currently have 0, which is also nice. Nice. The next category I'm going to talk about is my mixers. So I have to customize my foundation quite a lot because I am fair and cool. So I have my blue and white pigments. I basically have the same mixers as I did before. I had 4 in January and now I have 4 in July, the same exact ones. I have my Duraline, which I mixed with eyeshadows. I have my 2 mixing pigments, and then I count my Catrice fluid glowy booster thing as a mixer. I know some people count these as like a liquid highlighter, some people count these as primers. I only use this to mix in with my foundation if it's kind of too heavy. So I just count it as a mixer. So and I have the shade 002 Fair if you were curious. Moving on to setting spray, I have the same 2 that I had in January. I might be able to finish my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid setting spray this year. I use it almost every day to hydrate my face before I do my makeup. Just, it feels really nice and I really like it in that way. So I have the same 2 currently. Next is foundation, and this, I forgot to break it out in my head for like unopened versus the open foundations because I do like to keep track of that. But in January, I had 18, and it will say on the screen which ones were open. It's the top row. I do the top row open and the bottom row unopened, so it's easy to see. And I was decluttered 2 foundations from my mom, and I got 1 tinted moisturizer in like a set, so for Mother's Day. So I am up to 20 foundations, which means I did finish a foundation, but I also brought 3 in, so that number did go up, which is very unfortunate. Foundation has always been my problem area, although eyeshadow is becoming that now. But when I started my channel, I had almost 40 foundations, so now that I have half of that amount, I still feel pretty good, but I need to empty some more foundations. Next is concealer, and unfortunately this did go up as well because I was decluttered some. So in January, I had 4, and I was very happy with that number. And now I have 7. So I was decluttered the NYX Bear With Me concealer and the Maybelline eraser. My friend was like buying a bunch of makeup for her wedding, but those 2 concealers didn't work out for her. And then I did get the Tarte Creaseless Concealer in that set that I talked about earlier, and I got a backup of my Catrice under eye corrector because literally I only have like 2-3 uses left on that, and I can't live without that thing. That is my favorite ever. It's such a nice shade for me, and I just need it in my life. So I did finish a concealer, which is great. I finished my Boing concealer from Benefit, so the next category is powder, and I had 6 in January, which I feel like is a couple too many. I don't really need a variety of powders, but I do use powder every single day to set my face. I get oily throughout the day, so I do like to have maybe like 3. Like, I don't need 3 because I could just purchase when I run out. But I do like to have like a pressed powder and a loose powder and an under eye powder. I did get decluttered that Kosas powder from my friend, and that's the pink one, which I actually really enjoy. I'm so glad I was able to try out pink powder without buying it myself. That's pretty nice. And then I did get the Rimmel Stay Matte powder because for some reason my Wet n Wild Photo Focus, is it the Photo Focus? Yeah, that loose powder, when I would go into the office, my face was getting a little more oily, and I remember liking the Rimmel. So I bought that on my birthday and counted it as a birthday gift. I know that's a little gray area, but I did not count that against my no buy. But I did finish a powder. I finished one of my Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I used to have 2 and now I just have 1, but that number did go up by 1 as well. So now I have 7. And I will mention this just right now, any products in a palette, so like those jellyfish powders, I count each one of those as 1. I don't have a category in my collection for face palettes. I count individual products in each palette as 1 item in their respective categories. Can you hear my throat is already getting scratchy? Oh no, oh no. So now let's move into like colored cheek products. I'm going to talk bronzers, blushes, highlights, but I am going to break them down with like a cream category and a powder category. I just like to keep them separate. That's just how I like to do things. So in January I had 5, and that did include a depotted contour, like a Franken contour. I emptied that, and now I'm Frankening a contour using a different product, and I'm not counting that Franken as its own product because I'm using a cream blush to contour, and I'm counting that in the cream blushes. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I had 5 and now I have 4, which is great. I love cream contour. I'm not a huge, I prefer powder products, but I really do love cream contour as like an underpainting step under my foundation. So I'm happy with that number. For powder bronzer, so this is where like those X's come in. I had 9 in January, and I decluttered 5 of them. So now I only have 4, which is amazing. If you're new here, I am not a huge fan of bronzer, even though I look pretty bronzed today. I prefer like a lighter, less bronzy look. It is the summer, so I'm going a little ham to use up my products, okay, I admit. But my normal day-to-day life, I do not need bronzers, so I'm trying to use them up. But I only have 4, which is amazing. Moving on to cream blush. In January, I had 10, and I currently have 9. So I did declutter a few, but I added 2 into my collection. So I was decluttered the Natasha Denona Little Love Glow palette, and it has a cream blush in there. And then I also got decluttered the Tarte cream blush, that little shell packaging. That was from my mom. I had actually given that to her quite a few years ago, and she just decluttered it back to me, so it made its way back into my collection somehow. But it's in the shade Peach Retreat, and so I'm very curious if I'll even like it, because I don't tend to get along with peachy shades, but we will see. Moving on to powder blush. In January, I had 16. This is another category that I had decluttered quite a few, like 3 or 4 or 5, I don't remember. I currently have 14, but Before I had added, so I've added 4 new blushes in this category. So technically I had gone from 16 to 10. So I decluttered 6, I guess. Did I finish a blush this year? I don't remember. But I added that Natasha Denona palette, which has a cream, which has a powdered blush in it. And then for my birthday, I got the Natasha Denona My Mini Dream Glow Blush. For Mother's Day, I got the Flower Nose Strawberry Rococo blush. So cute. And then in that Tarte set that I talked about earlier, there was an Amazonian clay blush in there as well. So they were either declutters or gifted. So nothing against my no-buy, which is awesome. I currently have the same cream highlighter that I had in January, the Sydney Grace highlighter. This thing will take me forever to complete, but I'm really hoping to hit pan at least by the end of this year. I don't have it in any projects, but I think organically I'm using it every day, so hopefully I'll have pan at least. For powder highlighters, I had 9 in January. I did declutter 2, but I added 2 in, so I am still at 9, but I do have 2 new additions in that Natasha Denona palette that was decluttered to me. There are 2 shades in there that I count as powder highlighters. They look like they might be too dark for me, and they're very sparkly, so I don't know about that palette. I'm currently trying to hit pan in the blush. I don't know, you guys. Next is lip gloss, and in January I had 2 and now I have 4. So my birthday gift that I got from Sephora this year, I chose the Makeup by Mario Lip Duo, and in one of the products in there is his Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum, and I count that as a gloss because it's very glossy, and like serum just makes you think of gloss. And then in that Tarte set that I got for Mother's Day, I got the Maracuja Juicy Lip Vinyl. Because it's like a juicy lip, I wonder if that's not a lip gloss. I haven't opened it. Tell me, is that a lip gloss? It's in the shade Sheer Petal. So I'm assuming because it's sheer, I'm going to use it as like a lip gloss topper type thing. Moving on to my pinks and neutral lipsticks. I count all of my like liquid lipsticks, bullet lipsticks, lippy sticks from ColourPop. I count all of these as like lipsticks in my category. So in January I had 16 and I currently have 21. I was, let's see. Yeah, I was decluttered 3 of those from my mom. A lip crayon from Temu, a Milani lip bullet lipstick, and a Maybelline bullet lipstick. And then on my birthday, I had gotten myself a Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick. So nothing against my no-buy birthday gift. For my red lipstick category, I had 5 and I decluttered one of those. So now I'm down to 4, which is awesome. I don't even know if I need 4. Red lipstick is very like occasional for me, so I don't know if I need 4, but I currently have 4. In January, I had 6 lip liners and I had a pretty good variety, but I did add one in my birthday gift from Sephora, that lip duo. It came with that lip serum and also a lip pencil, so now I have the Makeup by Mario Ultra Suede Sculpting Liner, and still a very good variety. I'm trying to use up one of these, that pink packaging from Temu. I'm almost done. I feel like I'll have that done by the end of summer, hopefully. So then I'll be back down to 6. Moving on to like eye products. So my eyebrows, I had 4. I did either declutter or finish one up, but I also got decluttered a ABH brow gel from my friend who was decluttering like the makeup that didn't work out from her wedding. So I still have 4. I'm trying not to buy eyebrow products like even as replacements because I'm using eyeshadows in my brows this year, but I am using brow gels. I'm currently using the Kosas one, the Air Brow Gel Clear Mini. Words. So next is eyeshadow primers and bases. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 in January, and now I have 5 because I did buy. Oh wait, no, I must have had 5 in January. You'll see it on the screen. Now I have 5 because I did get the NYX glitter glue to replace my AOA sticky or tacky base. In January, I had 6 eyeliners, and this number did go up to 10. The Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Waterproof Liner, that was a 100-point perk on Sephora when I got my birthday gift, so I just decided to try that. I've never tried the Urban Decay liners before, and they get so much hype that I thought I had to, you know. In that Tarte gift set thing I got for Mother's Day, I got the Tarte Double Take eyeliner. On one end is a gel pencil, and on the other end is a liquid liner, and so I count those as 2 different products even though it's just one component. They have 2 different products on each end, so I count those individually. And then I did get decluttered 2 of the LA Girl Shockwave neon liners. I was saying how I really wanted to play around with liner. I don't really like use colored liners in my waterline, and I felt like I wanted to. And my friend bought them for me, so that was so nice. So I guess she didn't declutter them. She bought them for me. And I'm getting decluttered some liners soon, so that will be going up, but it's fine. Mascara, I had 3 in January. I'm pretty sure they were all Lash Princess from Essence, but I have moved away from those just to kind of see what else is out there. I'll probably go back to the Essence Lash Princess because it's so affordable and so good. But I currently have 3 as well. They're just different brands. The Cali Ray mascara was a freebie on Sephora, like a 100-point perk. The Tower 28 was a replacement when I did run out of my Essence mascaras, and then the Tarte Tartelette XL tubing mascara was part of that Tarte set that I keep mentioning. It was that deal, like around Mother's Day. It was the 7 products for $77, so each of them were $11. So I got that as like a gift, but I got to pick my products. So moving on to eyeshadows. I'm going to mention these in this video, but I'm also going to be doing a designated eyeshadow collection video where I actually open up each palette and show you what it looks like, but I'll just run through the numbers here. So for my eyeshadow singles, this includes magnetic eyeshadow singles in my customized palettes and also some individual potted shadows. So in January I had 55 and currently I have 52. So I did declutter a few, but my friend Sarah did declutter the NARS Little Compact in the shade Stud to me. Moving into liquid and cream eyeshadow, in January I had 4 and now I have 3, so I did declutter my Sydney Grace one. I just wasn't using it, and I really don't use liquid eyeshadows, so I mean, the 2 Beauty Bay ones are super pretty, and I can use those for special occasions. And then the Ulta Little Potted is a creamy, like bouncy eyeshadow in the shade Buttercream. It's so cute. So those are way easier for me to use than like that tube from Sydney Grace. Moving on to my eyeshadow palettes, I do have these broken out in 3 different categories. So the first category is eyeshadow palettes that have less than 9 pans. So it could have 2 eyeshadows in it. It could be all the way up to 8 eyeshadows in it. So in January I had 14, and I was decluttered one to me, and I was gifted one. So I currently have 16. The palette that was decluttered was the Hourglass Modernist Exposure palette. That's a probably old palette, but I've never tried Hourglass eyeshadows before. I haven't used that one yet either. But my friend Sarah gave it to me. And then the Flower Nose Strawberry Rococo palette was a Mother's Day gift. So that is that. My 9-pan eyeshadow palettes, I had 12 in January, and I have the exact same 12 currently in July, so that category has not changed. I am thinking about decluttering that Sigma Hazy palette. I have been talking about decluttering that for quite a few months. I just can't get myself to do it for some reason. Oh, I have 4 different categories for eyeshadow palettes. The next number chunk is pans from 10 to 15 pans, and in January I had 15 and I currently have 17. That did go up 2. I was decluttered both of these palettes, the ColourPop Flutterby and the Sydney Grace and Tintalia collab on the Horizon, the light version. So nothing against my no-buy. And then the very last category is my eyeshadow palettes with 16 or more. I think my highest number is 36. Pretty sure. Let me see. I actually have it written down. Yes, my Bella Beauté Bar Smoky Glam is my biggest palette with 36 pans. So in January, I had 9 of these, and I currently have 11. So it looks like I got rid of one, but I added 3. Oh yeah, I decluttered my Cosmic Brushes, or Cosmic Beauty Winter Wonderland, which is bittersweet, but my friend Kay will get a lot more use out of it. And the 3 that were added were my Blend Bunny Longing palette. That was a birthday gift. No, that was that was my Valentine's Day gift in February. And then in March, my birthday, was the Simply Posh Snow Angel. Love that palette. And then in May, I think it was May. Did I write it down? Yeah, May. I received a free palette from Nomad via their Starfish program, which is just a way they give back to the community. Different creators nominate other creators fitting to Nomad's theme, and the theme was something about spreading kindness and being a positive light in the beauty community. And I got nominated, and it still makes me kind of tear up to think about that my friends love me so much to nominate me for that. But I was chosen from Nomad, and they sent me their Chamonix Après-Ski eyeshadow palette, so that was so fun, and I was very touched by that. But it did increase my inventory. That is all. I'm pretty happy with where my collection is at. I feel like my eyeshadow collection is large. I will have my total here. I think it's 52. Somewhere between 52 and 55. I still feel like it's manageable. I am actively working on touching every single shade in my collection via the No Pan Left Behind project. And of course, I've been hitting a lot of pans this year with Pan Those eyeshadows, and yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good.
Okay, I am so sorry for this awkward transition, but I really wanted to do a vanity tour for you guys. I've been saying that I wanted to do this for months and months. So this is my desk slash vanity in my master bedroom. please do not mind the mess around it. I'm currently cleaning and organizing my whole house, but I did have to take all of this stuff off of the top because my toddler is in the phase of grabbing and wanting to play with everything. So I just decided to hide it. I do get ready here, so I have this light up mirror my husband got me as a gift one time, either Christmas or birthday. Hello, it is me. This is my panning drawer. So I keep all of the like complexion products that I'm panning in this top middle drawer. This right compartment is cream products. This middle compartment is powder products and a random brow gel. And then these are like my lips, my eye products, and like my foundations and concealers. Also, a dirty sponge that I just used this morning. So that's fun. I just think it's easier to keep it all in one place. This is top drawer is all of the eyeshadow palettes that are currently in projects. Like I said, I did have things on top of my vanity, but I just recently moved my brushes and things that I'm currently using into this drawer. It's working, but it's not ideal. I don't have all of my brushes here with me, but it's a phase. Like it's just a chapter until my toddler can listen and say no. These are all of my 9-pan eyeshadow palettes. In this drawer, I also have like my single eyeshadows and then the palettes that have 10 to 15. I just feel like it's better for me to stay organized this way, and they fit in my drawers a little better this way. This bottom drawer, I'm pointing out my disaster. This bottom drawer has my large palette, so 16 plus, and then my smaller palettes, which are under 9. I also have my little individually potted single eyeshadows in here. I'm just showing you like some different palettes that I have, and this little cup has my liquid eyeshadows in it. This system's working for me for now. And over here are all my complexion products. Please don't mind. Okay. This top drawer has all of my foundations, concealers, powders, setting sprays. I can fit it all in this top drawer. These standing up foundations are open, and then the ones in the back laying down are unopened, except for those two Misha Beauty ones are opened. I have this little box with my powders just to keep them separately. It's not glamorous. That is literally a cardboard box, but it's fine, you guys. It's working. These are my concealers. Yeah. I don't go in these drawers very often. Like I said, I work on my panning items separately from the other drawer. Here are all my blushes and bronzers. I have this compartment on the left with all of my cream products just to keep them separate. I have my bronzers in the back, my blushes in this one, and then in the front are my highlighters. I definitely don't need this big a box for all my highlighters. And then I have this Sydney Grace, and then I have this palette that I'm having trouble opening, but this has my Sydney Grace single blush and then a bronzer that I actually decluttered, but I'm keeping it to Franken in the future, so that's why it has a little X in it, so I don't forget. It's just too warm, you guys. I just don't want to use it as is. So this bottom drawer has it's like a catch-all a little bit. These are my eye brushes. They're actually nail brushes, but I use them for graphic liner. These are some random samples that I still have. I never use these, so I don't even know if I should keep them or not, but I have them. What else is in here? This is all my lip products. I don't have them separated, and then these are all of my eye products, like my eyebrows, mascaras, extra eyeliners, a random cream blush sample, And then I do have a backup of the ColourPop That's Taupe palette. I know it's crazy to have a backup of an eyeshadow palette, but my friend was decluttering it and I just took it. I am going to do another awkward transition because I just forgot to mention this in the video, but I hope you enjoyed seeing a little glimpse of where I sit and get ready every day and how I store my makeup.
It is fun to look at the pictures like from January to July, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and of course, if you're not subscribed, I hope you do so before you leave. So I see you in my next one. Bye.